Welcome to Karin's Orchids. Glad to have you here. If you're here for the first time, my name is Karin and I grow my orchids on the windowsill. It's one of my growing areas. A couple of months ago, I got a request to possibly make a video on what type of medium to use for orchids. One would have thought that you cannot grow them in similar type of medium. Or can you? So it was a good question. And I did make one video about what to repot cacti orchids in. Not so many views. But as the days went by, it catched up, so to speak. And a lot of people appreciated that video, so eventually they did, I've heard. So, yeah, you better be patient. As we say here in Sweden, you better have some ice in your stomach. Yeah, what I'm walking about here for, I just wanted to show you guys my growing area a little bit while we're at it. Anyways, today's video is going to be about the potting medium for these types of orchids. Do we want to call them Cambria alliance? This is an Oncidopsis. Oncidium and Miltoniopsis mixed together. This is a colmanara. Ara means 3 different genuses crossed together. And so on. The yellow flowered one up there is a Miltonia. The one there, Miltasia. The one there, Beallara. And the one there, Orchid. Ara. Yeah, they really have a thing for crossing 3 different genuses with each other. But anyways, they really are, all of them, except for one, are in a need of repotting. So I just figured, why not do it together with you guys a little bit? At least I'm going to talk about what I would have done if I wasn't filming, really. I'm going to tell you and reveal the naked truth today. So let us bring which one to choose, yeah? Yeah, we can start with this one, this community part. Yes? I put these two guys together for, I think, about 1.5 years ago. Miltonium Barocco Red. Yeah, I should say on this tag, but I better rewrite it until I forget it again. Here you can see my little box with tags. I think I got them from Amazon. Really cheap. And if I use a regular pencil, I can reuse them later on. So, Miltonium Barocco Red. So this is how I write it down in my country. 3rd month and the year, 25. So people know when I last reported it, yeah? If they're going to buy it from me. That one I guess is correct. Colmanara Painter Tropic Jungle. But when I did a short video on it, I got a comment in a comment section from a viewer who suggested it to be Colmanara Tropic Monarch. So, well, I'm not sure really. They are so similar. Some of these Colmanara blooms. Thank you for the suggestion. It's appreciated. It is. Anyways, look. So, it won't fit this one if I'm gonna upsize this pot. As I decided to keep them in a community pot together. I think they look great together. And in a video not long ago, I was whining about this orchid. I forgot to repot it as new roots were coming out. But now, new roots starting to branch, starting to create new root tips. So they stopped and now they come to life. You can see. So I figured, why not? I haven't really missed the opportunity to repot it. Yeah. The Barocco red is even a spark. I just noticed the other day. But doesn't stop me from doing this. I need to do it. Because I haven't been here in this medium for very long. Lekker stuff. And it's a good clump. A bit of moss, a bit of everything. But the roots are okay still. For this Colmanara orchid. What about the other one? The one in spike? Yeah. Looks alright. As you saw, that I need the width. As you can see, it's quite shallow. But I would like this orchid to go down a little bit more into the pot, of course, as this one is really actually the problem. This one. Colmanara, yeah. Yeah, I can exchange these old sticks. I'll need to do some cutting and stuff here. Yeah, I'm trying to strangle this orchid best way I can. Don't know why. No, I'm even strangling it more. It's just like removing your belt after a heavy dinner, isn't it? We need to expose the roots here. You can see. So, new growth coming to that direction. New growth on this one. Yeah, here. And this direction. So there will be and can be growing towards two directions here. This growth can grow its next growth to here. And to the back there's plenty of room. And here, this one needs to be. Yeah, if I shift it. As its newest growth is to this direction only. All of the rest of its growth are old. So I can plant it down a lot lower now if I simply twist it a bit. So, and now this orchid can be pressed to the back side, and this won't be. You can see my point? Yes. So there's going to be plenty of room for the Colmanara now, and the other one, of course. But that one was the problem, really. So what to do now? I am going to use regular bark, very dry bark, pure, beautiful bark, to the bottom. A layer, so it won't become too soggy down there. A little bit of perlite, crappy bark, a lot of peat, and just mix it together. That's going to retain a lot of moisture, but the problem is I do not want it to retain far too much. That's why I'm not going to add in any spag as well. On the other hand, I'm going to add a little bit more perlite to the equation. Yes. So, as this part is going to be very, very wide in comparison to the other one, which was very airy with all of the holes to the sides as well. So, it's that bad a basket it was sitting in, so it never really did have a chance to develop a good root system. It was too dry, I guess. I need a little bit of charcoal, which I'm going to add here. Disinfective properties. I always use it. It's just become a routine of some sort for me. And a little bit of pumice. I think I just made a fairly nice mix. These types of orchids. Just added a little bit on that. Now, here comes the crucial part. See? Spike, new growth, new growth. Might be another spike here, somewhere. No, it's been blooming here, so this one isn't new, but it looked new to me. So, yeah, this one is the newest one. Good thing I looked. That doesn't change anything. It's just the way I planned. And that one to the back. Yes. So I don't really need to put medium all the way up. I can make it a shallow pot. I can really keep the orchid relatively low down, since I was after the width, not really the depth of the pot. And all of the perlite really gives this medium some airiness to it. And that's very nice, very important. You see? Shouldn't suffocate the roots. They will never grow beautiful and long. As you saw, it stopped. It should be a lot longer than they were. So, but they're climbing a little bit, so they're not the easiest ones. When they start climbing, I barely need to stake them up. But I will. I'm going to use the old zip ties. They're still there in places. So just try to push that growth a little bit in to create a little bit space and such. Yeah, you know. Yeah? What do you think about this? Yeah. I'm relatively satisfied. It wasn't that ugly leaf. So I'm going to cut that one away. So, just a nasty little person today. So tatty. Yeah, look. Let's see, which one's which? No, I know. Which one's which? That one's Tropic Jungle, and this is the Rock Red. Well, now it's been 20 days since the repotting. Exactly 20 days. Look, Morocco Red opening the spike. The plants themselves, yeah. No accordion leaf. Whoa, yay. Yeah, I'm trying to sound surprised, but I'm not. I just spotted it the other day. Ah, another spike. So that growth was actually new, as I suspected. 2 spikes on the Morocco Red. And probably none to the Colmonara. But soon. So, yeah, this plastic pot fits the other container perfectly. It's just like hand in a glove, as we say. It's a little bit too tight for me to grab with only one hand, but it worked. Look. Cannot see many roots yet, but I watered them just the other day, so it's a bit damp still. I think looks well. Huh? Didn't affect the blooming ability. This plant, the Morocco Red, being repotted and all. Yes, over to the next orchid in the Cambria Alliance. Yeah, Miltonia, sunset. Why I kept this old spike is that I wanted to show you guys. This one was overbloomed about one and a half month ago. Can you see? There's still color to his flowers. Replaced by this spike. 5 blooms, relatively good sized. And I realized I changed the name from Miltonia to, oh yeah, they had 2 names on this orchid. That was, yes, very strange. Registered as Miltonia, but It's got Miltoniopsis in it, so it's not right. And the Miltoniopsis is here. Her Alexander. You can see the resemblance. In a way. And the size. These are quite large. Yes. I've been out for a few days a week. First one to open starts to fade into pastel colors. And the latest one, deeper in color still. Yes. I always loved the Miltonia sunset. Yes. But what's the problem with this orchid, yeah? Do you know how many times I've divided this orchid since I got her a couple of years ago? Huh? From the local garden center. I think one section almost as large as this one. Yes. One smaller section and two huge back bulbs with perhaps 1 or 2 leaves. I've heard that they're all blooming. And if you view the video on my friend's growing area, you saw this one. The large section I sold or whatever I did. I mean, I cannot have 4 or 5 of these, even though it would be nice. She's growing so well. Still, Miltonia. But this part won't hold her for very much longer. She's been here for about 1 year. So I think it's time to repot her anyways. It's got an extensive root system, really, by now. And I still like her to feed. So I don't want to really upsize the pot. So what to do for her, yeah? Yeah, I did find a solution. Not the most beautiful thing I ever created. But this one must fit this ring up here in the IKEA stand socket. Yeah? So, what to do? Otherwise, it's not much to do really. Nothing that I can come to think of. So, she's not going to be here. She's going to be there. So, yeah, a little bit higher gap. But anyways, never mind the gap. Mind what we're going to do now with the orchid. So, as she's been through a lot, do I want to mess about with her too much? No, not really. A little bit of pure bark to the bottom. She's got a very extensive root system. Look, I'm not going to go in there and destroy it all. I'm going to give this orchid some time to rest. From me. Yeah, rest from me. In a way, yes. And to be able to develop nicely before I need to divide her again. Yeah. See if I can free any roots. It's just the same thing with her as with the Beallara. Yes. Roots hiding behind dry sheath. Sometimes they just go wasted. Unfortunately. But anyways, we're not going to waste anything, and not time even. So let's just do it. Oh, not much dead. Why should I go and dig in there? Yeah, you see, new growth there. And that's a good sign. Very good sign. So, I'm going to try to make her more slim. The stake is the whole idea. To force this side a little bit more into the middle. Yes? And to force this side a little bit more into the middle as well. Like this. She's already created a spike. The second spike might come out from there. So I wouldn't want to tighten these zip ties too severely. Really. So, still got a chance to come up there. She blooms a lot. I'm going to going to use the same potting mix as we just created. So, she's already got plenty of moss in there from the latest repot. So, and stuff. It's need to, really. But, yeah. Lift and test. Yeah, I can lift her up. It's okay. But I probably will need to divide her next year. Anyways. But that's alright. For now. I can finally cut the spike. So. Now let's take a good look at this gorgeous orchid. Yes? A little bit space there, but I can still tease this little one as well, so it goes a little bit more to the front side. Yes, yeah, I would do that. Forgot about that one. Yeah. At least try to push it, tease it a little bit to the right direction. Yes. Yeah. Now, she can still fit in a ring, and it's one size up at least. So, goodly good. That was done. Yeah, what was I waiting for so long? Well, I guess you're not surprised that 3 weeks later, she's still in bloom. The spike is intact. Flowers aren't fading. I don't think so. At least I can check for some new spikes, maybe. Nah, not really. But obviously, it didn't affect her at all. At least not badly. I love this orchid so much. I also have this plant. This is a free plant. It's a Brassia, Eternal Wind, Summer Dream. Looks almost like, that was really funny. I got it as a free plant in my Whitman order. About, last year in May. Yeah. It was a tiny, teeny, weeny plant, but it was free. Just when I decided to get rid of my huge, always blooming Miltonia she-lobe golden spider, which I divided into a couple of sections and sold, since I was a little bit tired of it. It bloomed too much. How is it even possible that an orchid can bloom too much? So I grew tired of it. And it grew very wide. So I just, nah, none more. And I got this one. Exactly the same colored flowers, same pattern, same everything. Almost, almost. So, somebody decided that I just needed to have this orchid. But, it's sitting in the medium it arrived with still. Only bark. And I forgot to water it enough, so it looked really tired. With this growth growing downwards, bending downwards, growing into the medium almost. Yeah, she looked crappy, but now this is going to be a good plant. So, this one is going to be, look, in a good growing stage. So it's a young plant, really young plant. But what an extensive root system now. Look at her. Needs to be hydrated, a little bit more hydrated. Though, so, no digging, that's not what I would have done. The naked truth, I said. So. And what about the medium, breaking down, and the old medium here, and a little rotten apple in the, you know? What if I say that I don't care, really, if there's a little piece of bark? So, I dug in there. But what now? So, needs a larger pot. And she probably needs this pot. No, she doesn't. But she certainly needs this pot. Isn't it too wide? Nope, it's not. Definitely not too wide for this orchid. The Brassias grow like weed. Period. What type of medium for her? Yeah. Well, I can just manipulate the old medium a little bit. As you saw, she's used to be sitting in bark. Why not just stick to it? Use this. And a little bit of crappy bark. A little bit of the good bark. And a bit of perlite. So, mix it in. So now she's reaching maturity. And just a thought that crossed my mind while I'm at it. I'm going to add a little bit of the matchlite to the medium. Here. You can see too that it won't become too dry. You can support it, the medium, with a little bit of released moisture when needed, I've heard. I'm trying the matchlite out a lot, a whole lot. This spring. I mean, if you do not want to develop, so what's the point? There's always stuff you can do better. And adjust stuff you're doing fine. So there will be even working out better. Called development. I've heard. So, goodly good. It was about time I repotted this one. 1 year. So. I mean, with that extensive root system in only pure bark, why change a winning concept as it was small grade? So I'm just gonna, try to mimic it in a way, because I do not have small grade bark. So a little bit of peat and stuff mixed in and such. And the larger pot will hold the moisture better in itself. So yes, and a stake for stability. Nothing else. That's the only purpose it fills. For now. Yeah. Eternal Wind Summer Dream. Now repotted. Finally. I got around to it. Thank you guys for that. Well, this is the best orchid I've got, almost. No, but it's a really well-grown plant. Beallara, Renaissance White. I'm so happy for you guys helping me out with the trade names. There's a jungle out there, really. And I just had so many Cattleya orchids and stuff. I just thought that these guys were taking up a little bit too much space. And yeah, you know, they were a little bit too common and blah, 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 blah. But now I'm starting to appreciate them more and more for each season. So, you can see, started on a new root system here, but it stopped. So I was a little bit late. Just the other day I saw green root tips, but they will start growing again if they are provided a little bit more humidity. But this one has got potential. Let's not take it away from her, shall we? Look. So. What can we do about a pot? Yeah, we can use this one for a change. It's a bit wider. What would I have done? Yeah, I think you guessed it already. Why should I go in there and dig? It's doing all right. One new growth there, two lovely there, and a little tiny one in there to the center. So just going to scratch off a little bit of bark. And you see, bark, grow stones, charcoal, and perlite. That's just about it. for this orchid. Last time I repotted her, so I'm going to mix this up a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit more water retentive this time around. Vermiculite might solve the issue a little bit, so I'm going to add that one in to the equation. This bark is now going to be relatively dry for starters, so I need to water this orchid more than I would have, but I'm watering her far too seldom anyways, so I should really make amends when it comes to watering this gal. So this part won't work. Do you know why? It's too shallow. Do I have another pot which is higher but still relatively wide? Do I? Yeah, I reckon I do. The pot the Miltonia had. Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to wash this pot. And brut. Brut. Yeah, I wouldn't say perfect, but so how to make it perfect, yeah? Loosen up a little bit of the roots to the bottom. See to that the stake doesn't hit the bottom and make me believe that the pot is too low. And now, yes sirree, this one we can use. We need to get it down. How difficult can it be? Yeah. I'm going to press this orchid to the back a great deal. As this is moving by our own machine here. I want to tap the pot, so it distributes a little bit better. Some extra energy, extra nutrients for this season, growing season now. Yeah, it's going to be a monster of a plant. So a 12 centimeter pot won't hold the next season probably. Not yet this season. So it's all right. Yeah, maybe you saw the Miltoniopsis Herr Alexander 3 weeks ago, earlier in this video. Yeah, this is the bloom now. So it's overbloomed only yesterday, I think. But it wasn't really what I was going to show you now. When I bought this orchid, I think it was could it be 1.5 months ago, I told you guys that, yeah, I'm going to repot it as soon as she finished her blooming, or even before. I should have chosen the ladder suggestion, even before. She had one more spark to the other, which just withered away after some time in this coconut husk fiber char she had, or she arrived in, yeah. Hated it. Each time I watered, she hated it. Yeah. So I decided to repot her before she even finished her blooming. She was surely showing signs of yellowing leaves, the old leaves turning yellow, and the blasting of the spike, the new spike. Yeah, indication something was not doing right. In here, something's going on. But she had a relatively nice root system, but a lot of dead roots to the bottom, yeah? So, this is moss, bark, perlite, grow stones, and charcoal. And a little teeny weeny bit of char. And it actually worked. It's been 2 weeks now. No yellowing leaves, no more yellowing leaves, no more sign of anything declining. So I will never ever let a new Miltoniopsis sit in the coconut husk fiber char for no longer than a couple of hours. I will repot them immediately when I get home. And the second one I bought, I showed you guys, this pink one, wasn't as nice of an orchid as that one was. Not so many canes, not so many of anything, but I just needed to have that color combination. But, well, yeah, look where it led me. One of the pseudobulbs rotted. I guess it was a pseudobulb with the flower spike on it in the jar. But I could see this little tiny growth as just a 1 centimeter long beginning of a shoot, which I didn't really believe in, that it would succeed to survive, so to speak. But I took a chance and repotted it, and now it's growing. So, my piece of advice to you guys will be repot a Miltoniopsis directly into something else than a coconut husk fiber jar. Yes. This is not the only thing I do with pottings and stuff. I do other things as well. Growing area tours, blooms and spikes, orchid hauls, which means unboxing new orchids. Most part of the times from other countries. I also upload a couple of shorts videos a few times a week, every week. So if you're still hesitating on subscribing to this channel, I would encourage you not to. Now, it will really help me out. I'm still trying to figure out why my channel is growing this slowly. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong, but maybe it's obvious, but I cannot see it. So tell me, please. All right? I would like it to grow as I'm putting down many hours a week. But, well, tell me what I can improve if you wanna. I would appreciate you if you took the time just tell me. Yeah. But anyways, I'm happy that you're here and that you watched this video this far. That really means something. Yeah? It means a lot to me. So I'm gonna close this video now, and if you liked it, yeah, you know, give it a thumbs up and stuff. Subscribe, yeah, subscribe. Okay, have a lovely day. Appreciate you all. Yeah, bye-bye.